Welcome back to the Aftermatch with Kirsten B. Part 2 this week. We're dropping 2 parts because this is such a ginormous week. We've done the All Blacks part. If you want to go back and watch part 1 of the podcast, here is part 2, all about the Springboks. Do the Springboks not make you a little bit nervous, Beeve? Not even a little bit uncomfortable?
Oh, of course, you give them a chance.
Just a little chance.
They are the 2 times champs. We are Kiwis after all, and I'm going to go to Eden Park in my most patriotic best, but yes, South Africa is a massive chance coming to the Garden.
You originally at the start of the season gave them more of a chance of winning Test 2 in Wellington. Scott Burger has said the same. He gives them a chance of winning Wellington, not a chance of winning at Eden Park. Why is that?
Yeah, I didn't know the rationale behind the Great Skulks.
But for your rationale?
My rationale is it's the Garden of Eden. We just don't lose there. It's Eden Park.
It's simple.
It's simple as that. But no, for me, South Africa stands a massive chance. And it's their game and how they go about their game. It is so well crafted to themselves as far as what they've got and what they force the opposition into. Yes, we've seen them play some great entertaining football. They've got wonderful backs in the likes of Cheslin Colby and whoever they're going to have at fullback, whether it be Fussy or LaRue and what have you. But you know deep down that there is a style of game that's coming to Eden Park and they will stick to it. And essentially what they're after, Kirst, is everyone says, they're boring, they're kicking or whatever. It's crafted. Everything flows on to each other. So therefore, what does that look like? They obviously want to win their set-piece ball. So they win their set-piece ball. Why is that so important for them? Well, set-piece ball is crucial anyway, but it allows them to kick on their own terms. And I know you straight away, saying, you can't just talk straight away about the kicking, but the kicking flows into everything else. So they've got this monster pack. Kicking on their own terms means kicking where they want to kick from. They want to kick from in the trams. And when I talk about the trams, it's in those 15-metre channels between the 15-metre and the touchline. Why do they want to kick from there? Because they want you to get the ball back from there. If they don't get it back themselves, they want you getting the ball back from there because that allows them to have 12, 13 guys on their feet defending one side of the field. If you're defending one side of the field, Kirst, you can bring more line speed. You don't have to worry about the other side, and therefore you don't have to worry about numbers. You've got all your defence lined up. They're big men, and invariably they're going to make that first ruck slow, and then they're going to bring their line speed. And then what does that do to opposition? The opposition might try going through them, but when you're going off slow ruck ball, very tough, very difficult to get any sort of momentum. So what does that do? It forces the opposition, in this case the All Blacks, to kick not on their terms. And therefore, if they get a great kick, then so be it. They're back in business and they're doing the same to South Africa. But if they don't, then they're giving guys like Cheslin Colby the time and space. Or if you kick out, you're giving them a line out. And they want line outs 30 or 40 out to set things going. So essentially, everything that South Africans do, it's not done in isolation. It's done to fall into the greater plan, which is, of course, bring that big physicality, physically dominate you, and then get the ball in the part of the field that they want to attack from. And then they can do it for 80 minutes because they rolled out another 6 or 7 forwards. That's the ability of South Africa. That's the genius of their game plan. And that is rest. Don't lose any sleep over it. That's what's coming at Eden Park on Saturday night.
They like slowing the ball down. Their props go down for a wee rest. We'll do in the first 15 minutes, you probably expect, right?
Yeah, well it's
you call that cheating? They're manipulating the rules.
Yeah. I mean, when you're supporting the opposition, it's cheating.
Yeah. But if Richie McCaw did it, it's okay.
It's experience. Yeah. It's winning rugby. But from the opposition side of you, it's cheating. But yeah, so that's the sort of stuff. They don't want the game to get too quick. And that's nothing against their athletes themselves because we've highlighted some of their outstanding athletes. But when you are picking a forward pack whose job is to go after you physically, who wants you to come at them, we talk about T-boning, which is just straight at you. Like there's no space for you to use your feet and get in behind because that creates momentum. They are wanting to put you in parts of the field where they can come as big men, win the first battle, which is obviously the collision. And then if they win that, then they can get over the ball. And at the very least, they make your ball slow, which invariably makes you think we've got a kick. And you're kicking off not your own terms and you're giving the ball back to them or you're kicking out.
Let's talk about a couple of selections.
Yep.
Faf de Klerk,
Yes.
Fafster, is back in the country with a beautiful, long, flowing blonde
Yes. You happy with his blonde locks?
They look good. A lot more hair than you do, Beef.
Correct.
Do we see the old Chargers, the old combination, the back-to-back World Cup winners back together at Eden Park?
It would not surprise me. Like, he hasn't been there, and they've got some other very good halfbacks, but, you know, this goes back to being a game built on experience and knowing how to get the job done. So all of a sudden, I could realistically see a halfback combination of Faf and Pollard. Pollard's going to be the man. He's going to be wearing the 10 jersey. And then I'd go a step further. And I know Fussy has got some good attacking ability, but again, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the 100-game, 2 times World Cup winning LaRue is at 15. Because again,
Why?
well, they know Rusty knows what he's going to get from him. He's going to be very assured. He's going to probably think kick first, and that's going to build into the territory game. And that is what they're coming to do. They are trying to play the territory game so then they get chances, as we said previously, to launch their play from inside our 30.
You talk about those three. What do they do on the bench? Because we know that the bomb squad is coming off the bench. 6-2, 7-1. What split are they going for?
Well, it depends what, how he wakes up that day, I guess. But it's certainly going to be not going to be your 5-3. It'll be a 6 or a 7, I think.
One of the two.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, and I don't think he'll need much excuse to go 7 because he's obviously Peter Steph, the toy. Khaleesi, they're coming back from injuries. So he could easily justify going, well, maybe I take 7 on the bench.
Because he'll take them off. So what he does is he says to his players that start, go and empty the tank. Go and give it everything you absolutely can. And when you're tired and we see it, we'll roll the bench on. Sometimes that's actually happened before halftime because he's seen the front row getting tired.
Yes.
And he judges it based on what's happening in the game. But how do you actually diffuse the bomb squad? If you're the All Blacks, how do you stop the bomb squad from having an impact? Because their finishers are just as good as their starters and they're getting just as much out of them because they're saying, just go until you're tired.
Well, they're a specific athlete, aren't they? When you talk about the bomb squad, what does the bomb squad do? Historically, they come on, they get scrum penalties because most international teams have a good front row, but they don't have 6 of them. And that is realistic. We're fine there. Our second half scrum won't be a problem. It's not going to concede penalties like they're going out of fashion like I've seen them do. You won't see fullbacks giving free kicks, calling for a mark inside their 22, then calling for scrums. Like, I think defensively we're fine. You talk about how we're going to defuse the bomb squad, it's around how we're going to play. Like, they're coming on to scrum and they're coming on to physically carry on from what they've hoped that the first half of the team's done. Well, that's all good and well, but if you don't give them those set pieces in our part of the park, we're not going to give scrum penalties away. I can't see it. But you're going to keep playing footy. You're going to keep the tempo of the game up. So for all their wonderful exploits, and they have won World Cups with this formula, if we can find a way to be able to keep the ball on the park, they talk about the stat of ball and play. You want that to be as high as you can possibly make it. I know it's
But
Test
the
rugby.
Boks want it to be the opposite.
And they want it to be the opposite. So therefore, they've got the energy to when it's time to go, they can give it absolutely everything. They don't want to be gasping for air because they've been chasing the ball. There's been aerial ping pong going on, and suddenly the All Blacks are making them go from side to side, and Will Jordan and Sevu Reece are testing them, even though that they've only just come on the park. It doesn't matter if you've just come on the park. If you're 140 clicks front rower and Sevu Reece and Will Jordan are coming at your feet, that ain't nice. You like the way I started head stepping there? That's all I've got. Will Jordan and Sev have got more than that. But that's what they don't want. So you've just got to keep the ball on the park. We've got to get momentum. Nothing changes. Just because their bomb squad's coming on, nothing changes, I don't think, from an All Black point of view. The principles and tempo and everything that I've talked about all week carries on. It's just not whether you can allow them to have their impact.
How important, we know their bench is hugely important to them. How important is our bench though?
Well, for reasons just talked about, they've got to be able to come on and continue the flow of the game, which we hope is going to be high tempo, high speed. I think Wallace probably starts, so he would be your big impact sort of as a carrier. But like whoever they go with at hooker, I don't know if Amua's back or it's going to be Takiaho. like that's going to be a significant role because they're going to have to carry on the good set piece work that Cody would have, I'm sure, will do as far as line out throwing goes. And from then on, then it's just doing your job. Like what we've talked about, a massive part of the bomb squad is coming on and getting shown penalties. Like, well, the front rover comes on is to limit that. So, and then if we can, and if we've had a game where we have been able to create momentum and keep the ball on the park, then guys like Damien McKenzie coming on off the bench, you know, it seems funny, but someone like Christie's coming on his test debut. Preston coming on his test debut. Comes and takes the speed of the game to another level.
How many minutes do you think? Do they roll them on with 20 to go like they have been for all other halfbacks? Or do they try and leave?
Well, they've had him in there for a couple of weeks now. So I think the trust would have been built and what have you. And we've seen how he plays with the Crusaders. And yes, it's you don't want to put too much pressure on the guy playing his test debut at Eden
against
Park.
South Africa for the record.
But he goes and does his job and passes and backs up and all the rest of it. We saw him score a hat-trick by just backing up. You'd
be shitting yourself, though. This isn't the Crusaders.
He's not shitting himself.
Oh, come on.
He's excited.
Are you not shitting yourself if you're on the bench and coming off
He's not
in this game?
He's not shitting himself.
I would be.
Hey? He's not dog shit. I'll tell you what.
No, he's not.
He is not.
I'm just thinking, I'm trying to put myself in that situation.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
But you know, the great thing is he comes through it. Whew, no tougher test.
Exactly.
He goes, well, I'm made for this, aren't I? He thinks.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's exciting. But, you know, I think the big thing and the guy who, for all their stars,
who's the key?
Pollard.
How many points has Pollard put in the bank this weekend?
Well,
it depends how many the All Blacks allow him to, doesn't it?
It comes back to discipline. You think about discipline and why it's such a thing. He is the... I've probably used this before when I was talking about Owen Farrell. He's Owen Farrell exactly as far as ice cool.
Yeah.
Have you seen him miss a big kick? Never. No. And he has put more big kicks over than anyone. And you think about World Cup semi-finals and finals, he just puts the big ones over.
Because you don't want it to be close in the last 10 minutes.
No. Anywhere inside your half is danger zone. So, but at the same time, the All Blacks have to go after him when he's kicking in general play. They have to go after whoever's at halfback in general play because we've talked about where South Africa want to do as far as putting the ball on the spot to then set up their defence to then get the ball back on their terms. If you get the kick pressure right there, if you start to disrupt some of their set piece, disrupt some of their rucks, then those are the two that'll be most affected because it won't be a platform. But Pollard, for me,
he's the key.
He stands pretty tall but both first fives are reflective of what's going to unfold. You've got Pollard who's got to direct the show for South Africa on their terms, get their kicking game going so everything can flow. At the same time, Bodie's our kingpin because he's going to be the key to making sure that we can get our tempo going, that he's tactically going to be able to start shifting these big forwards.
Honestly,
it's Tuesday. We've got to calm down. We've got to calm down.
I'm through the roof already with everything that you're talking about. So in the comments, tell us from everything that you've heard from Beef, how the All Blacks win, how the Boks win, who's going to get to play their game, who will win this test match, Boks or All Blacks for you.
Have you got us a weather forecast yet? Because
that's the one thing I haven't looked at.
You can find us a weather forecast before you go because that's also going to be critical. I know tomorrow's nice, but Wednesday's no use to us.
Auckland, Saturday, 80% chance of rain.
Yeah, but what time of the day is that?
Before 6 o'clock.
Okay, that's
It looks like rain will clear in the evening, so there won't be rain. It may be a little bit damp underfoot, but look, I'm no Jim Hickey.
Yes.
And the Apple weather, I'm not sure how accurate it is.
Yeah, it's not the most reliable.
It's not what you'd be using for your fishing.
No, Windy is my go-to app. But I'd like to see the groundsman. It's a good app. The groundsman at Eden Park get the big ropes out that they tow around behind their little carts, and that takes off the moisture.
Oh yes. Look, it may be a little bit windy, a little bit Wellington-esque, considering the wind that we've had for the last.
Tough place to goal kick from. Maybe Pollard might be off his game a bit.
He's never off his game though.
Oh, watch out for that northern corner.
Is that your feedback for him?
Well, just if we can get inside their head.
A message to Pollard from Beef.
Watch out for the northern corner.
It'll get you.
It whistles in there.
Okay, so if we look at selections, Beef,
yes.
You put your selector's hat back on because you're great at naming teams.
Am I picking my team or is Razor picking his team?
Well, I'm just curious.
Yep.
Obviously, the team that we put out against Argentina 2 weeks ago, things will be a little bit different this time around.
Yep,
Do you imagine?
Yeah, I think so.
Where will the differences come?
I think you've got to play Wallace. So Wallace plays at 8 for me. I think he is the best slow ball runner I've seen. And by
what does that mean?
when rucks are slow,
Yeah.
very few people are able to get you momentum. He has this rare gift of, on a slow static ruck, to be able to get you momentum because of his footwork, his agility, his power. And so therefore, we don't want it, but there's going to be times in the weekend where we're going to need to regenerate pace to our game. And I think he is the best to do it. So he goes in at 8. I've talked about the line out. I think Tupou Va'e has had some real good moments at 6 this year. And if they're confident with Fabian as being starting lock against the box, then I keep Tupou Va'e there because of some of the stuff he showed against the French in particular and how they were able to develop their game and how rangy he was able to be. And then, so therefore, that's Ardy at 7.
Yes.
Which I think,
Great trio.
It's a great trio. It's got the size, it's got the explosive power, it's got the line-out ability, but then it also allows you to play 2 loose forwards on the bench.
So you don't have a lock cover.
You don't need one.
Yeah.
You got 3 there. If one of the locks is gassed, then Tupou goes in there. Tupou's got a massive engine, so he goes into lock. And therefore, with the way that I think we've got to play and the speed that I think we're going to play, I think we hit them with, let's not copy Bomb Squad. We just have something else. We'll come up with a name for them. But I think you go Karifi. And I think with already Luke Jacobson's been ruled out, then I think maybe it's a time to unleash Lakai. And he is something unique and different. He is not too dissimilar to Ardy Savia. The Springboks, by not playing a whole lot of Super Rugby anymore, would not have seen much of Peter Lakai. And I just think he's got this X-factor game-breaking ability to come on. He'll do his job around his core roles, but he's also got that little bit of special about him. And so for me, I bring him off the bench as well.
He hasn't played against South Africa before,
Nope,
has he?
I haven't seen him.
Nor is Karifi. Massive test for those two.
Exactly. But I just think you got to think how we're going to be playing. And I know we've got the forecast, so it's going to be fine by 7 o'clock. I think we're going to be able to play at some pace. So those two can take the game to another level as far as pace if we get our rest of it on our terms.
So I know that's what you would do, but do you think they're more likely to put a Sammy Penny-Finau back on the bench like they did against the French?
Yeah, I mean, Sammy Penny can bring some explosiveness in his own, and if they think that they still need that extra line-out cover, even with the 3 locks, and they're not quite comfortable if there's a lock injury and then one of them, Tupou, has to go in there, then Sammy Penny will do that job too, bring the line out and explosive ability off the bench. So for me, it's probably a Lakai, Sammy Penny conversation, depending on which way we want to go.
And if you look at the backs, you'd imagine that most of it would stay the same. The Blues combination at 9-10, the Hurricanes combo at 12 and 13, Rico one wing because no Caleb on the other side. Sevu Reece will be there. Will Jordan out the back? No changes in the back line.
No, I can't see them. I know we've talked about it during the week, but there's been a lot of hysteria around the high ball stuff. It's not about those boys. It's about the team putting kick pressure on, catching, and then blocking the best they can, and then just catching the ball. It's a 50-50 contest. So I'm not changing the back 3 simply because of catching. The only thing around how we're going to play is there must have been a little bit of, I guess, thought given to whether or not you chuck an extra one of our very versatile 10s into the back division, back 3, just for that aspect of kicking.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to be able to shift the width, like the Australians did so well and successfully against the Springboks, then it's great to have another great kicker out there. And that would have been the temptation, I guess, from a selection point of view. Do you put a Bodie or a Damien?
But you don't think they'll go there?
I don't think so. I think they've sort of made their stalls, as they say, as far as the back division. It's been very, very consistent, which is good. They haven't tinkered too much around with it. And I just think it's not the panic stations that a lot of people are thinking as far as that last test against Argentina. You don't just throw it all out and start afresh against South Africa at Eden Park. So
that means the bench will look the same for you as well. Preston will be the halfback cover. Damien will be 10 cover, and Anton Leonard-Brown will be...
Well, Anton covers everything else.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So that will be your your bench as well.
Yeah, I think the only variation or thought to that
Leicester.
would be Leicester,
Yeah.
and whether or not that they think that he's similar to Anton as far as covers everything, and whether they just want someone maybe a more direct ball carrier in there, and he's the man to go to it. But I think it'll be Preston, McKenzie, and Leonard Brown.
There you go. Buy into the hype and hoopla, Bev. Come on, it's test week. It's New Zealand against South Africa. It doesn't get any bigger than this. We'll be back on Thursday for team reaction to see who's actually picked for this one.
Yeah, look, I've got no inside line there, so it could be completely different. But you just remember, though, I know you're saying buy into the hype and hoopla. It's only Tuesday, folks.
It's okay. This is all part of it as fans.
Don't blow a
Bev.
gasket early.
Don't.
You can blow
You're
a
talking
gasket
about
early.
fans on Saturday, aren't you? At
Well, that's my
Kingsland.
concern too, yeah. Well, I mean, I remember going to a test a few years ago and I had lunch at the Viaduct and all of a sudden I was looking down at my watch thinking it's only 4 o'clock here.
Don't head along to Danny Doolan's too early.
Well, I was actually in a different establishment. I knew I was going to end up in Danny Doolan's, but you can go too big too early. So just
not make it out of the viaduct.
Yeah, make sure you have a big breakfast on Saturday, folks. It's a long day.
Thanks for watching the Aftermatch with Kirsten Beeve. Comment away, like and subscribe, and we'll be back in a couple of days' time.